I want to come
They
right
just
back.
will. They will succeed.
You will succeed. So let's talk
It's
about
so easy.
this. Right, first of all, I want to know, obviously in this failing to succeed and this succeeding from failure, what happened? How did you first have your first awakening experience onto like your spiritual conscious path?
Well, I was quite. I came out of uni and I was thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going? Obviously, no qualifications, but I did speak 2 languages, so that was quite handy. But I really didn't know anything about anything. I was just drinking, having fun, and then I met someone, and I'm not going to say who it was, but and I wasn't really into spiritualism. I was a deep person. I always knew I was quite deep, but then I was put in a situation that was really profound. I was with someone who could hear voices, and so that's a bit weird, what's all that about then? And it turned from voices to quite nasty messages, and we went to a séance, and I'd never done a séance before, so I went to a séance, and it was just at the time of a funeral. So I think all the rules of séances we broke that night. Okay. So it didn't go too well.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what it was, but this séance started going, the wheel started spinning, so the glass was spinning really, really fast, and it was starting to get quite interesting. One of the people there, the glass fell over and it kept going 6, 6, 6, and it was like it was a nasty house. It was full of bad energy and everything.
Although the number 666 is actually
it's actually not so
it's a
bad.
good number.
No.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm right. This is one of the books I'm going to write. It's called Dinner with the Devil, and it's about exactly what happened, what I experienced that turned me into a sort of what one would call a spiritual person. And so this person got amazingly. She got attacked by some force, a demonic force, and she was completely possessed.
Whoa.
So totally possessed. It was just, whoa. I've seen some things in my life. I've delivered babies. I've saved people's lives. I've seen dead people.
You've delivered babies?
Yes, I've delivered babies. I've seen the birth of the soul and the birth of the flesh, because I delivered my own baby. There was. Well, that's another story. But so I've seen a lot of things, and this was something I needed to see. I needed to see one get possessed. So I saw it. I've seen it. I don't mind if you don't believe me, but I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
And it was really unbelievable. Like the mouth was going all funny and frothing and blah blah blah. And we had the local priest come down, and she was screaming and swearing, and it was unbelievable strength in this person who changed totally. And so the next few months for me were, my God. Life isn't just going to the pub then. No,
a bit more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, so for me it was the best experience that could possibly happen, because I had to find who I was and how I was going to deal with the situation. And I can remember coming back in the BMW, in a really old BMW of mine, and I said, "How are you feeling?" And she just turned her head like that, and it was dark, and she was driving, and the way her neck turned, I'll never forget.
Like The Exorcist.
This was like The Exorcist. I was living the film. I was in it.
Whoa.
So it was really bad.
What happened?
All sorts of things started happening around the house, and then she started telling me all the demonic forces she was meeting, and what they were going to do, and who she should kill, and I was on the list, and God knows, you just wouldn't believe it. And they wanted her soul, and they wanted to commit suicide.
Whoa.
So I tried the Bible, nothing worked. The Bible didn't work.
Bible doesn't work.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of helped,
Yeah.
So don't like that. It's get it away. But so I went through this incredible experience, and I, in the end, managed to exorcise this person through self.
Just through trial and error, you taught yourself to do an exorcism.
No one else would help
her. There's no one to turn to.
I realised that no one could help her.
Yeah.
Or she would end up like lots of other people in mental hospitals on drugs who've got voices talking to them.
So how did you do it in the end?
I had dreams, really vivid dreams. And this is what I want to write a book about. One of the books I'm going to write, the next one, I've written 8, is going to be called Dinner with the Devil, be exactly what happened and how it happened and why it happened and what I did. And I went into these tunnels, I went down into the centre of the earth, and I saw the devil and God knows what. I don't actually believe in the devil, but I think what I saw was what this person believed in.
Yeah, it's a warped
and it was
perspective,
kind of weird.
because actually the centre of the earth is Mother Earth, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Divine Feminine. So They've tried to demonise the divine feminine.
So it's all a bit strange, and now I've got a much better understanding of what this negative energy is. You know, it's not human anyway. No. But it's also not hell. You know, there's something else.
It just lives in our own minds. It's like our own perception of what hell is.
So I kind of went into this person's mind, and it was really weird. And then the next day, because I got a sword of, was it Archangel Michael? I had this big sword, and I stuck it in the ground in this tunnel, so that this person couldn't go any further. So I had the angel had his sword, and I put it there, and then I didn't sleep at all that night, and I asked her. She said I had this dream, and I was in a tunnel, and this sword came up. You what? And I realised that I had something.
You didn't, yeah.
I realised I had some skill. I don't know what it was.
There's all lights going off around you while you're talking.
Oh my God! So I realised it isn't a sword to hurt people with. It's the cross.
Sword of truth.
And it's a sword of truth, and it's got immense power, and Angel Michael, and then we went to psychic fairs, and we said, "What is this stuff?" You know. Yeah. And it was because of that I started connecting and asking questions, and I realised I had
a baptism of fire there, Angus. Like
it was
chuck you in a house with a possessed person and make you actually.
It was terrifying. I thought it was trying to get me all the time, this thing, but I really had to fight hard and find something I didn't know I had. But now I realise I go back into many past lives where I was this warlock or whatever it is, I don't know, but I found that I did have some kind of skill that goes back a long way, where I've got some very high spirits that would help if I needed it. So from then I've done healing, and like, for example, there was a horse, this person phoned me up and said, "You're the only person." So I just went down there and started healing this horse. It's just something I just happen to do every now and then, like, you know, like going to buy a newspaper or something, I'll just go and heal the horse. And this horse lived. It's like, what, you know? So I've got this gift, and also my current wife, she was told she'd never have kids. Laid my hands on her, and that's how we had children. So
5 of them, right?
Yeah. So we really did have children. So watch out for your hands, you know.
Wow.
But so that's how I just got more and more interested in this power, this energy. Who am I? Am I human? What am I? You know. And I think all my books is a reflection of that. In my books, it might be about chocolate, it might be about babies or whatever, or about life, but there's a real message, I think, for everyone, there's a whole lot more to us that we can explore, and, you know, I'm only at the tip of the iceberg, you know, there's just so much more. So, and I'm still finding out things about what else can we do. Can we time travel? Can we see into the future? And what was that dream I had about tsunamis that came true? I mean, when I write, I see the planet, I see what's happening, and I see the volcanoes go off well before. I know there's a lot more.
You have a lot of prophetic visions, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What else have you seen?
We've seen the tsunamis 5 years ago. I saw them all. I saw people running on beaches. So I had all these dreams about tsunamis. I'm dreaming about earthquakes. I'm dreaming about volcanoes, which is the volcanoes are really the final stage. So it's a blackout, and I was thinking, why? Well, it has to happen. It has to happen because there's too much control on Earth. So I think, so I feel liberated. So
it's almost like the chaos is going to set us free, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, the hurricanes and
tear down the borders.
And I know it sounds crazy, but 2 years ago I bought myself a Land Rover with a snorkel on it, and I swapped my wife's car for a 4x4 because I'm getting ready. I just know. I mean, it's 29 degrees in eastern France. That's not right.
Well, yeah, it was 24 degrees here in October.
So I'm tuning into wisdom. I'm asking why, what's happening, tell me what's going to happen. So I'll be shown more and more about what's happening to our planet. And when I write my blog, Friday Light, I sometimes think, I don't want to write about, let me just write about what's going to happen to the planet. And then it's like, oh, second sun. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, right. Energy changing, you know.
You're just channeling, aren't you?
Second sun, what's that? Yeah, well, Sting's sung in his songs, The Clash wrote about it in their songs. All clicks, everything clicks, you know, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle.
If you start to learn to look and listen, the whole universe, or this whole world, is like a giant oracle. And the messages come to you,
it's
right?
Amazing.
You get signs, you dream,
Yeah. And if anybody has a weird dream, no, that's not a weird dream. It's not weird at all. It's really, really important, and it could be something that could save your life. And so we're just being really careful about where we travel to right now. Yeah. My wife and I. The good news is that she's very spiritual as well. So between us, we do quite a lot of psychic work. So not sort of just happens to be that way, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a chocolate taster, but okay, if you want me to heal your horse, you know, let's get on with it then.
Amazing.
It's really
I don't
weird.
have a horse. I have a cat though. Maybe we can tune in on her in a little.
But I think the writing for me is really the true art. That's the true me. It's the writer that is going to change the world. I just know it's going to happen. I don't know how, but I think one or two. I know that this book is. It's kind of opening
This is
doors.
opening the door.
It's
I
opening
think.
doors. And it's like, well, you got published. So now I'm trying to achieve miracle number. Well, I don't know whatever you want to say, but miracle number 2 in the business world is getting into television for me. So I'm using my imagination to get into television so that I can prove to people once I'm in television, only then are they really going to listen to Angus Kennedy because he's got into television, got his book published. I don't really want a Lamborghini. My son wants me to have a Lamborghini, but I don't really care if I do or don't. But I know that I have to own these things in order for people to listen to me, so I probably will get them.
Now I can't remember which bit we've recorded and which bit we haven't, because obviously, so the you wrote a book, didn't you, about, you know, when I get famous?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was so
I can't remember if this is on the interview or not, because we're time traveling right now. It's a very holographic conversation.
Yeah.
So this book is going to get published basically when you've made it.
I wrote a book when I went bankrupt, so I lost everything, and I wanted to write a book at my lowest point in life, so that one day when people are at their lowest, they'll be able to read this book. So it's written for those people, because I was bankrupt, I had no money, we had a baby on the way, we lost the house.
Whoa.
I had nothing, and I just lost everything. But I wanted to write about my feelings and how I could get through it. So the only way I could do it was by imagining my future. So I projected my mind into the future. I don't know how long it was, but it was 20, 25 years. And I wrote the book, well, just in case I'm famous, I'll write it. And I thought, well, that's a great title.
You are time travelling.
So I wrote the book. So I took myself into my future, and I wrote about what it felt like to be who I am in the future. And it's such a strange book. And I had a pledge with God, or whoever we want to call him or her, or our energy, and I said, I will not publish this unless I am famous. But you decide whether I'm famous or not. I don't mind. You look after that bit. But it might be after I'm dead. But I don't mind. But I know that book, I know it was written 20 years ago, and if it is published, it'll be even more like, who is this guy? What? You know?
Yeah, so how
did he really write it 20 years ago? How did he know he was going to be famous? Well, because you can time travel. It's very easy. You just have to just get into it.
Was there something in that vision or in that projection that you're going to recognise? Like, I think so. A moment that you'll recognise when you know. I haven't read the
book at all. It's just stuffed away on a hard drive somewhere, and I just left it. And there's a few more books I've written that won't be published unless things happen in my life, because it's not the right time. So I have written quite a lot of other things, but they're just sitting there. But I do believe there'll be a moment where it'll be, crikey, I just put myself into my future. It'll be like really,
You've
really,
literally
really
gone and planted a seed in your future.
Yes.
He's time travelled, right? And gone, and like
so that's how I feel that you can control your life. So you can imagine yourself, okay, even if you're on the street and you're an alcoholic, whatever, the lowest of lows, you can imagine something. No one can stop you from imagining you being in a nice house with your feet up, perhaps not watching telly, but having a nice hot meal. People can't take your imagination away from you, no matter what happens. So, and that, because I know I've been there. I've had when my father died and my mum was an alcoholic. I know what it's like to be low of low. So I had to learn to have hope, to look into the future. So I guess that's perhaps what's taught me, is to say, and actually, this is going to go on, we could talk all day.
It's alright, we can carry on.
I had a medium that came around when I was 10, just after my father died. And this person was unbelievably small, like an elf or something.
Tiny medium.
Yeah, really, really tiny. And she came in and she said, I've got a message for you. Something really bad's happened in this house. So I was like 10, 11 years. So we've got our own our own spiritual producer-director.
Yeah, somebody doesn't want us talk. I don't know, like the camera just keeps being stopped when we're in really poignant conversations, and I kind of feel like it's it's somebody wanting us to know that they're here, or it's that this is actually happening. It's almost like evidence for you guys as well that there is someone else around that's orchestrating. We were actually in the middle of Angus was telling me about a medium that came to his home when you were 10.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So let's just tell our viewers that bit, because I don't know if she wants to be.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a bizarre situation.
It was very strange. I mean, I'd never seen or experienced or didn't know what a medium was, so I answered the door, and she was so small. She really like an elf,
like a little fairy.
I mean, really, yeah. So I opened the door, and she kind of walked. The dogs were very quiet. Normally they bark at everyone. Sat down, and she said, "I've got some news for this household and for you." So, how does she know what? But I was quite young, so I thought, yeah, okay, go on in. I didn't really think about who it was, and in those days it didn't matter. She was quite harmless. So we sat down, and she said, "I've got something I need to tell you." So she was very sure about what she needed to tell me. She said, "You're going to not pass any exams in your life. Never. You'll never pass an exam." And she started laughing. Then she thought it was quite funny. She also said that I'd be very lucky. So I am quite lucky. I think I'm alive. So I think the fact I'm alive shows that, because of stuff I've been through. And then she also said that everybody will know your name, and that was just a profound statement. There was no explanation to that. She did talk about things being sweet as well, and then finally, just before she left, she said, "Oh, and you'll be going to America." So of course we had no money. We were bankrupt. We were in a terrible situation. The bailiffs were on the door, and everything had gone wrong. My father had just died, and my mum was just like, somewhere on with a bottle of vodka, everything was quite bad at that time.
Wow.
And then there was this God sent phone call from a godmother I'd never heard of in Boston, and said, "Would Angus like to come to America to live for 3 or 4 months?" So of course there was nothing at home really. My mother wasn't even cooking food for me, so I went over and just lived there for a bit. So that was kind of evidence that this strange person that came round was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because I think she put that in because I was young, to make me believe that, to show me that we can see the future.
And show you what's possible.
And that statement, okay, failed exam, okay, that's happened. That's come true now. So I don't sit any more exams, that's for sure. Being lucky, yes, I'm lucky. Sweet, yes, we know about that. But then everybody will know your name. It's like, what's all that about? And I've heard that before. A couple of other mediums, they say, "Whoa, what have we got here then?" And we were just talking about being on television a couple of months in America. It was massive. It was just like, this isn't really normal, for a debut author in a small publishing company to suddenly get in front of 250.
Because how many TV stations were you on?
17.
17 TV stations.
Yeah, and then I was in this magazine. Do you want me to mention the names of the magazine? Parade magazine.
Yeah.
And we were looking up these viewing figures. It's like 20 million, 30 million. Everything was in...
Millions of people watch this guy, and he's on my show.
Everything was in tens of millions. And then what was really, really interesting, this was a tour I did for the book tour. And I think the publisher and I didn't realise what I was capable of doing, because we went straight to Fox News, and then I got in touch with, I met, just by chance, there was this boy band that had millions and millions and millions of followers in the dressing room. So I didn't know who they were, because I don't follow celebrities, but I had some chocolate, and I've got 5 kids. You've made it. You're up there. I started saying, "Hey guys, you want some chocolate?" "Oh yeah, thank you." So we were just having this chocolate party, and it was so funny. And all their aides and all their agents were getting really frustrated because we were just talking and eating chocolate. Took a few pictures. Oh, bingo, another 10, 20 million. And it was after that, it was just getting really stupid. And then because I'd been on Fox News, and CNN wanted to go, and then bingo,
that's
it all
brilliant.
happened. And
once you're in one door there,
And then another very interesting thing, we talk about intentions, and it doesn't matter how simple it might be, just I really want a hot meal next week or whatever. Well, we were in Universal Studios for a family holiday last year in LA, and we were, I don't know if you know that bus, but I'm sure a lot of people.
The bus that goes around.
It goes around the Jaws, the Jaws studio, and then it goes around the Wild West and stuff like that. And then it goes into that tunnel where there's that, I don't know what it is, Fast and Furious tunnel. And they go inside that thing. Well, just before that, the bus stops. And I can remember sitting in that bus looking around, it'd be so cool if I could just be filming one of these one day. So anyway, I didn't think anything about it.
And that's just a throwaway thought, right?
Yeah,
this is a one-off thought.
It was a throwaway thought. It wasn't, oh, please, please, please. No, it's none of that. No, it's just, oh, that'd be so nice.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I'd like to do that. It wasn't like beg. Anyway, I didn't think anything of it. It was a single thought. So anyway, nothing happened. And then the phone call came through. So we got Hallmark Television would like you to join their show in the LA studios for a private filming session with you as
in those studios.
Yeah, in those massive studios. They had a whole hangar to themselves, all to this program, and I was one of their special guests. And it was like people before me. There was a Hollywood star before me. There was someone else, and it was getting like really stupid. Right?
And then in walks Willy Wonka.
And then I arrived, and they gave me a private caravan, Winnebago thing, air conditioned, beers, wine in the fridge. I had this massive like makeup thing.
You got your own trailer?
Yeah, they gave me a trailer.
You got your own trailer?
Yeah.
You probably made it, Angus. Come on.
But I think it was a spiritual thing to say, look, you can do things in life, and this wasn't for me. It was for you guys, because this is achieving the impossible here. A book is 1 in 200,000 chance. Getting into Universal Studios, I don't know what chances there are, but I think what I'm trying to show people and what these situations I'm being put into are more for other people than for myself. And I'm very much a communicator of achieving the impossible. So I made this video and I say, look at this, here I am, a Maidstone dad with 5 kids, and I'm filming at Universal Studios for Hallmark Television in front of 12 million people in 10 minutes time.
And especially because a book, like books, right? That people talk about books being a dying industry, but they're not.
No, not at all.
It's huge. Like the fact that you've written your story, and this is your 8th book.
Yes, it's my 8th book. And
it's finally you're there. What I love about you is you're such a normal, nice guy. Like you're just this down to earth dad. Like you do your job. You've just like but you've got this wisdom about you, and I can't think of anyone better to be put in front of 250 million people. Right? I can't think of anyone that deserves it more.
This video was very prophetic because, as I was saying, I was here last year. The same bus goes behind me. In the
same spot?
Yes, and I didn't know the buses. I was actually on the bus route. I was on the bus route, and I was actually standing in the place. So I looked behind me.
Did you wave at them hi everyone, I'm a celebrity?
And it parked outside the Fast and Furious place where you wait for the doors open. And I looked out, and they were waving at me, and I was the person that I was looking out at.
Oh my God.
And so I put my glasses on, my Union Jack glasses. Hi everyone, yeah, and it was just such a surreal moment of this is so not what's supposed to happen in life. This isn't normal. Wow. But I love America, and I love the American people as well.
Well, you'll have your own show before you know it.
Well, I don't know, but it was just that I think it's good to have a good thought every now and then, because you never know what could happen. And if you just replace that bad thought about, oh my God, I'm late, or oh, I hate the Central Line, or whatever it is, if you could just say, I know I love the Central Line because I can have this thought, or anything. It's just, and I learned a lot about that. I mean, okay, yes, I've done a lot of pre-planning, a lot of mind work, and read a lot about mind control as well, about how our minds can be controlled, and how I've managed to uncontrol mine, and various other things. But that for me was, and I put the video and I put it up on my little Facebook thing, and I don't have many followers on Facebook, but the ones I do have matter.
Oh, have you got a video?
Yes, I've got it.
Oh my God, could you send it to me so I can show people? That would be amazing.
And I said, hello, and they were waving at me.
Show you waving like you're a celebrity.
And they were taking pictures of me, honestly, they were taking pictures of me, saying, oh, I was a celebrity, and I just felt like I was a chimpanzee in a zoo, all these people go by taking pictures.
Like that.
And it was really, really surreal, and it just didn't stop. Then from there I went on to San Francisco. Then I came home and I thought, that's it. It's all over. It's all over.
Well, it's just the beginning.
It's not over, because I think once you've tuned into what you're meant to do, then it doesn't have to be fame. Even if it's just being a doctor that saves lives, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't matter. And I think that this is just what's happening to me. And the more I let go, the more happens, and it's just really, really powerful now. I can feel this power, and it's just the more I say, let's not worry about the dishwasher then. Let's just try not to worry so much, so that I can allow this energy to flow and attract what needs to happen, and it's all prevented by worry and Brexit and news, which I don't follow anymore because I've learned not to do that. So I do feel I'm on the verge of writing a really new book which can really help people, but I can only do that by having these really surreal experiences because people won't believe me. You know, no one's going to believe me unless it happens. But I'm not. A lot of people get me wrong. They say, "Oh, you just want to be famous."
No, a lot of people do think that, but you've got an authentic message. You get a lot of trolls, and you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, yeah, we just want to do this." But I don't mind about that because I know that I didn't really. Honey, once you've got the trolls, then you know you're on the right track.
Yes, exactly. There's
someone's trying to push you off your perch. Then you've got something to give.
And there's a lot of negative energy that would try and get me off the track. Because I think the message is always simple. It's the message that you have. It's just imagine it could be possible, even if you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But just feel that your life is possible and you can do something extraordinarily good, or save something, or do something. And it's like when I speak at schools. This video for me was just. And one of the most amazing experiences. I've had some experiences, but this is so weird. It was so weird. It's like, God, this is how the celebrities live. Like, wow, this is amazing. What's going to happen next? And I walk in, and then there's some guy from Hollywood, and everyone's saying, "Did you know that such and such?" No, because I don't read the newspaper. I don't know who they are.
Meaning that I used to do it for a living. I used to do celebrity parties, and I'd walk into the parties, and I'd go. I have to go up to the photographers and go, "Who's that? And are there any famous people here?" Because I didn't know who they were, and I worked for Now magazine, and I was supposed to be the party girl, and I'd walk in and go, everyone looks pretty glam.
That's such a strength, though, isn't it? It's such a strength. And then, so we're on this panel. They were lovely people. I mean, all of them were so nice. They're so professional, but they're all quite famous. Yeah. But I just sat down, and I know I took the show. That Hallmark thing was brilliant. That was that was one of the best I did because it was just so natural. It was so fun. I felt. God, blimey, I'm being Angus. Wow, that feels a bit odd.
You're just being yourself.
Yeah, so and I knew that there were people out there that weren't. They bought the book because they read there's wisdom in the book that will help them, and that's all that matters. So this feeling of just anything's possible. It takes years and years, but once you realise it, and if I can hold on to that and I can show people that anything's possible, then the answer to your question is that's my success when I've helped other people. That's it.
Amazing.
Otherwise, I'm not going to stop until I get that. It's finished. That's why I'm here.
Angus, you're such an inspiration. Really, honestly, it's so wonderful. And like I've said it before. I don't know if this bit was caught on camera or not, so we're going to say it again. Is that I love that your day job is chocolate taster. So it's like you've got this perfect, amazing job, right? But the fact that you're already kind of living the dream, and yet you're taking that further and using it to get a positive message out there, to inspire, to uplift, and to empower other people, especially children,
absolutely,
is really amazing and commendable.
I don't know if the spirits, when we were cut out the first time, I was talking about speaking with children and going into schools, and I think I was talking about children. The real moments are, some people say, what would it be like if you had a Ferrari? No, come on, no.
Yeah.
The greatest moment for me this year was when a couple of kids came up to me after I've been speaking at a school and took my hand and said, would you be my dad? And it wasn't a great moment. It was quite upsetting, but it really hit me really, really hard. Saying, "Oh my God, we've got so much work to do."
There's so much work to do, but it shows that
I wish I could just go into schools every day of my life and just help children.
Because you do that. I mean, you go in there.
I don't get paid for it. It's a charity I've joined, and it's one of the best things. I just love it. I'd drive 1,000 miles to help 50 kids if I could. So then I take chocolates in, and I've got partners that work with me in the industry because they're with me on it.
Wow.
And they just give me free chocolates, and they help out. But the next big project, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do next. When you only think that things just don't get more wild, well, it's just happened.
Okay.
So finally, before we finish, I made a off the cuff video, like you make videos and stuff. And I was sitting in the hotel room, and I thought, God, these cocoa farmers, they're really poor. They're having a really bad time. And it's not good. So I know a lot about it, but anyway, that's another story. So
because let's talk from the ethical standpoint, right? Chocolate isn't overly cheap when you buy it in the shops, right? And then you have all the gourmet chocolate and the champagne truffles and the beautiful big brands, and it's such a part of our consumer society. what happened? Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's quite a controversial issue, but if I'm in a position of, and I'm becoming, and it's almost like working in a bank and thinking they're just making more money out of poor people than rich people, and you suddenly have a conscience. I'm in a chocolate industry that's worth 110 billion, and I'm waking up more and more, like we all are, and this energy that runs through us, and if we just keep it going, and we get. So I'm thinking, I'm in a chocolate industry, I'm a chocolate expert, and everyone's tuning in, but I'm in an industry where things aren't quite right. There's only one person that can help people in Africa. That actually is me.
Waiting for that person to come along.
So I've got contacts in the newspapers right across the world, radio, television, everything. So what would make me much more of a person, that I could be? Chocolate taste is like wow. For me, it's like that's not enough. It's not. It doesn't represent what I want to do. So I think the truth about situations is quite important. So I started to think about this. I made a video in Italy in a hotel room because I thought. I don't want to. I just thought these poor farmers. Let's make a video. So I did a video, put it on LinkedIn, and got about 5 to 10, I don't know, 7 or 8,000 people watched it, and it got shared because I said I want to do something about farmers. If you want to help me, if you want to get involved in this project, I'm going to go to live on a cocoa farm and I'm going to be a farmer. And
you need a TV crew to follow you. Who, if anyone's watching this,
I know,
to get Angus out there doing this behind the scenes.
So then I had cocoa farmers all over the world.
I'm going all goosebumpy.
Desperately poor, saying, "Oh, Mr. Kennedy, we're going to make a statue out. We're going to make a statue out, of you in our hometown. It's made out of mud, and we're going to wish." And it was like I was absolutely bowled over from Ivory Coast to Philippines, Mexico, Ecuador. I had people in cocoa farmers. There's millions of them, millions, and they're earning between 80 cents.
Because you know what happens is a lot of the people
in
those countries, right? So they're cocoa farmers, but a lot of them get kind of moved over into the drug industry and things like that because they can't afford to feed their families. It's really sad.
And their children go in like Nigeria. So anyway, I had quite a few invites to cocoa farms. I thought, my God,
you need to
I had so many people say thank you. How can you back out? You can't. You've realised you've committed something to be good, to do something good. It's not going to. I can't. I probably won't earn any money, but I know it's a good thing to do, and I know it'll lead to something. I think
it needs to be a TV show and something to raise awareness and support for these people.
So then this Nigerian king, he says his Royal Highness something blah blah, gets in touch with me and says, "I like your video. I invite you to my farm, and you have whatever you want." So you just choose wherever you want to go. You'll have protection. We'll get you a visa in 24 hours because we have contacts in the government. Blah blah blah. So I've been invited to go and live on a cocoa farm. And I said, but I don't want to be. I want to suffer. I want to do.
You want to be like farmer.
So he said, okay, well you just choose the farm. We won't choose. We will give you pick a number and you go onto this one on a map. And then he's going to find a family and I'm going to live on this farm.
Wow.
And I'm going to be a farm worker and I have a translator with me and I'm going to live the life of a cocoa farmer and see if I can survive on 87 cents a day.
Whoa.
And I think I can because I've trained myself with water only stuff and so I just demanded medical attention if I need it and water and that's it. And the rest of it is I'll be a cocoa farmer.
You're like the Bear Grylls of the cocoa farm.
Like Louis Theroux sort of thing. And I thought
you're not dissimilar actually looking at you now.
It's kind of like a sort of it's much more of who I am. So it's an extension of the book. So it's set up, and I'm just looking for sponsorship. I'm trying to find television. So that's where I'm at the moment. But I know that someone will come forward and say, "I'll sponsor you because I want the voices of the farmers to be heard. So I'm going to back you." So that's where I'm at the moment. But I know
we need to spread the word. We'll share the video out as well.
And also know that that's something good to do. I know it's going to work because, and for me it's working because I'm doing something good that represents more of who I am than someone who just munches chocolates all day and says, "Well, that's nice, that's not nice." So that's kind of the next stage in.
Have you got a charity or something on board with it yet?
No, I mean it was just.
I wonder if Avaz would do something.
Yeah, I mean
like that.
I'm kind of in this sort of way of I've made an intention I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for people to say, okay. I mean, I don't know who it is, maybe a multi-millionaire out there.
Some crowdfunding.
I've got the television company sorted out, I've got everything sorted out, the travel. I just need to film it, I just need the money. But I know that's going to come.
Yeah, it's definitely. God, what a great idea.
Yeah.
It's
and
amazing.
Then you come back and then you get other invitations and then other things happen and then that's
it's just going to snowball.
I don't know if
me.
that's my route into television, but I'm going to do something good with television to show people how television should be used. because it's stuff we watch on television. Come on, let's face it, it's useless.
Yeah, we need better. We definitely need better stuff.
Like, is that scone 2 millimeters wider than that one? No, that one wins.
I know. It's mind-numbing, isn't it?
What's going on? So I can't watch television. You know, it's just ridiculous. And I have spoken to lots of television producers,
Good.
but I understand who owns the media and what they're. I know the agenda.
We need someone good like you in the mainstream media. You know, that more people with open hearts, authentic voices, positive message. You know, I think there's a lot of this. There's duality in every spectrum of our world, of our planet, and every industry. Obviously, you get nice people and you get people that are out for themselves. But I think the more we have people like you that have an authentic voice in those roles and making those shows, I think it's even better.
I think everybody out there's got something good to say, but I think when we understand that the media, who owns it, just look at who owns it. You can get some very, very deep questions here.
Ask questions.
So who owns the media? And then, okay, that's why that hasn't happened. But who owns the people that own the media? And then you go, who owns them? Who controls? And then you realise what you're up against.
Oh, it's funny when you look at them. I don't want to go more back into conspiracy theory because we want to end on a high note. But when you follow the thread of any big corporation on this planet, they all feed back into a very small number at the top.
Just look at
start following the thread.
US dollar bill.
Who owns what? Yeah.
It's all that.
Anyway, let's come back to chocolate. So on our final point, we're going to have a 3-part series on Angus Kennedy here. Our final point. So let's just talk about chocolate. We started doing a chat about chocolate and the actual chocolate tasting that you did when that the camera had already kind of cut off at that point. But we want to talk about chocolate. This is this is your thing. Yeah. So we can't talk about chocolate on this show without mentioning that cacao is a sacred plant, obviously.
Yes.
And that the sacred plant cacao is at the heart of chocolate. And what I know about cacao is that it's very warming, very heart-opening, very loving energy. So it fits quite well with your persona, I think. It does, this very warm kind of family man, dad,
unknown quantity.
Very compassionate, total empath working with chocolate. So what do you know about the other properties of chocolate and the cocoa bean? And
well, I mean, the basically a bar of chocolate is 50% fat and 50% sugar. So it's not brilliantly good for your waistline.
Bit addictive there.
Yeah, very addictive. And also sugar, I personally believe that sugar is addictive. I also believe that why do they put caffeine into chocolate? So that's quite addictive. So with a combination of that and bromines and phenols, they relax you. So you're relaxing about putting on weight basically, and then you get a hit of the Actico or whatever it is, or the flavanols, so that then you get a bit of a hit. So altogether, you're buying something that's addictive and pleasurable and kind of meets a need. So we just did this survey and it was really, really funny. Why do you eat chocolate? To meet a need, to have pleasure. And that's lovely, and that's why I love chocolate, because it's an expression of freedom. I'll eat it anyway, I don't care what you say. I know it's got sugar, I know it's a bit naughty, but I want to eat it because that's what I want to do, and I'm going to eat it. But going back to your question about what it has in it, I totally agree with you that the cocoa bean is an unknown quantity. It's a bit like crude oil. The compounds are unknown. It's got thousands of compounds. The largest chocolate producer in the world that researches the cocoa bean every day of their lives still admit they don't know or even 90% they don't know about the property of cocoa. So there's lots of hidden things about it. And
so you've got the scientific properties, right? What we know, what's or even if they don't know all of that,
there's a whole
and then you've got the spiritual properties.
Yeah, definitely. So the cocoa that you've had in the past is really interesting because that's raw cocoa. Now I've got some cocoa beans from the Ivory Coast that someone gave to me as a present. Wow. So I wonder what would happen.
Oh gosh, grind them
up.
What
if I just grind these up and mix them like they used to in the Aztecs or in Mexico?
Do a little cacao ceremony.
And then drink it.
Yeah, so I run little cacao ceremonies, and I wasn't kind of trained in it like the shaman do, but I've done it myself, and putting a positive intention into it, and I've been to ceremonies in London as well where you do like ecstatic dance and you drink the cacao and then you go with the music, because the music also opens you up. And this is another bit that wasn't filmed, but I did have a night where I only had 2 sips of raw cacao, and ended up properly hallucinating all night on the dance floor because my heart was so open and it was so potent. There's something in this, you know, I've never done any other plant medicine. This is the only, I guess, sacred plant that I've really partaken in, and for me it's just delicious, it's beautiful, and the experience that you have when you connect with the spirit of the plant is gorgeous. And I think that there's something about, you know, chocolate that kind of takes you to that warm, cozy place, isn't it? You know, in front of the telly in your trackie watching a movie, something with, you know, either a hot chocolate it actually is comforting. A lot of people say it's better than sex, you know, like.
Well, actually, yes, it is. There's another survey that has been proven.
Really?
No, there is actually a survey where some people actually choose chocolate to sex, but, you know, I don't know where they surveyed it, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think I've noticed a sort of, in the whole food industry, is a little bit concerned at the moment because, I mean, I go into my garden, I drink nettle tea now. I'll try and eat the odd plant, you know, just because I'm preparing for things, you know, that's another story, but I'd like to know what I can and can't eat in my garden. And I think cocoa's another great example of a product that's been mixed with sugar, which perhaps wasn't so brilliant. But what would happen if we just take that cocoa bean and start grinding it up and just
because maybe all the sugar and all the other ingredients have been somehow meant to dull down the effect of it. Or,
well, 80% of all the food that we buy in the supermarket has hidden sugar, so why? We just start. Here's another question.
We're going down the rabbit hole again.
But yes, I mean, chocolate is a wonderful substance. I call it a substance because it just lets you free in some way. It says, this is my moment in time, whether it's you switch your iPhone off or whatever you do, but nothing can stop you just enjoying the food and tasting it and having a moment in time, which is so valuable now because people have lost their moments in time. So, like, what I totally agree, chocolate represents that sort of freedom, doesn't it?
And pure pleasure. Yeah, we don't get enough of that, do we?
No, definitely not. No, we all aspire to pleasure, but I think, you know, we wouldn't be born if it was going to be that easy. So we've got jobs to do, all of us. So. I think we just got to get on with it. Enjoy some chocolates on the way.
So after all the chocolate that you've tasted over these years, do you have a favourite?
Well, sometimes I sort of think I've tried them all, and I got given some chocolate from a country called Sao Tome, S-A-O. I mean, your listeners are going to correct me on this one, but anyway, I'm not going to try and spell it. But it's a little island off the coast of Africa, and they grow their own cocoa beans. And I tried this chocolate, and it's just out of this world. It's just fruity. It's delicious. It's so good. It is so good.
We've got to go there.
It's really, really what chocolate is all about. It's very, very expensive, and it's just this bean that is, because all the beans taste different. So, and you know, sometimes you'll see like a cocoa chocolate bar, and it'll say, "Oh, pure beans from Ghana." Great, but actually, what they don't tell you is that that's where all the cocoa beans come from. You know, from Ghana and Ivory Coast. So I think you just have to be a bit more cynical about, but look for something that's just a bit unusual, like Sao Tome or Grenada or Philippines, Mexico, or I don't know, just something a bit unusual, Tanzania.
Oh yes,
and you can get these really wide and diverse flavours. So this is a bit like wine, and I like that. I like to experiment, but there's nothing wrong with a cheap bar of chocolate to keep kids happy on the way from school. No problem.
I love my dark chocolate, the really rich dark. Not quite the 90%, but the 70-80%, just like the nice lint bars that you can get and things like that. Really like. Yeah, it's comfort. It's lovely, and something about the dark chocolate makes it feel a bit more grown up than milk chocolate. I think, you know, white chocolate's for the little kids, and you know.
And there's a reason why they call them after 8s as well, because they surveyed the time that people most want chocolate is after 8, which is why that's why they call that brand
chocolates.
So that's so clever.
It's so sugary, but the dark chocolate is just offsets it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it does help you dream. I think, you know, if you want to, they say that cheese and certain things make you dream more. I think certain food products do as well. So I mean, I still love. I mean, chocolate. I have to be thankful for. It's got me into all sorts of unusual places. That you know, I mean, for example, you know. Like
everyone wants to be friends with you, right? Be friends with the man with the golden ticket.
I know. But what's so interesting about this golden ticket? It's not actually chocolate; it's freedom.
It's freedom.
Yeah, so that's why I like it. That's why I can see. He's quite clever, isn't he? This guy up here, you know.
Yeah, because it's like the golden ticket's almost like a symbol for your Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
It's the golden energy, that Midas touch.
It's almost
energy.
like it's got a, you know, like a sword, like a. angel Michael's sword on it with a god. I can kind of see it in a chocolate bar. It'd be kind of cool that.
Very cool.
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
Who knew Willy Wonka was actually more eccentric and interesting than we thought he was? I just want to, just before we wrap up, I just want to remind people of Angus's book Bittersweet, which is out now. And there's quite a few videos about Angus online now, isn't there? And you've got your own YouTube channel, which is The Angus Kennedy.
The Angus Kennedy. My website is theanguskennedy.co.uk. I write a crazy blog, which is completely off the wall, which you either subscribe to and love, or you just never want to talk to me ever again.
So if you want to know more about the spiritual side of life from Angus's mind, from Angus's point of view, you do talk about some of the conspiracy theory stuff, don't you? You do delve right in and ask questions, and it's a really interesting read. Friday Light.
It's called Friday Light, and it's the end of the week, and we're fed up with life, and we need to get the kitchen decorated or whatever it is, and everything's going wrong. So I just try and take people out of that and say, come on, let's talk about the price of courgettes or something really stupid, but it's actually got really deep meaning, and I just love that. I mean, I just close my eyes and I can see stuff and I write about it, and I don't know what I'm going to write about, but someone else does, and I love that.
And it just comes through you. Brilliant. Angus, we got through it!
We did!
I can't believe we've actually got through this interview. We've been filming for hours, but it's been great because it's been so great to connect with you.
I just want to give you a big hug.
Oh, you too, honey. Oh my god, talk about soul connections happening all over the planet. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Angus for being on my show. This guy's been in front of 250 million people. It's on my show. And also, thank you so much, all you guys, for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback about this show. This one, we've delved into some slightly heavier concepts. Hopefully we've done it in a fun and uplifting way. We've sweetened the deal with some chocolate. So I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to hear topics that you would like to hear more of. Did you like this? Would you like more of this type of thing? Would you prefer to keep it lighter? Any recommendations for people that you would like to see as guests on my show? The show tends to choose people itself. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Remember Angus's book, and to check him out on theanguskennedy.co.uk, and sign up for Friday Light because it's a great read. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.